I truly want to stress that I am immensely grateful, and beyond just the legal aspect of it is again also the confidence aspect. To me, that peace of mind is worth its weight in gold and more. The dispute that brought me to you guys is as follows. So we own some property in Boulder County. It's a mountain property. It's not built. It's an empty piece of land. We have a neighbor who sits between our property and the main road, and there's a legal easement across his property. And currently that's a small private road. During COVID, those times where a lot of people just went into the mountains with their campers and tents and whatever else and just hung out there, we had a lot of issues because it's a very secluded, beautiful piece of land, that people would just trespass onto our land and camp on the land and do all kinds of quote-unquote illegal activities. One day I had an incident where I was just happened to go up there to go hiking with a dog, and we were attacked by a couple dogs, and it turns out there's a whole bunch of squatters up there. And that was not the first time this had happened. So at that point, I contacted our neighbor whose property, whose easement is across his property, and we talked about this, and then he actually recommended that we put up a gate. I went to a different law company, a small company in Boulder, and they wrote up a contract, right? Because the issue was who's going to own the gate, responsible for the gate, the maintenance, all these other things. I had said we will pay for the whole gate, but it could belong to the other person, right? Just as a thank you. But somehow the contract got written up incorrectly, and it came across to the other party as if we were, in essence, borrowing him from his property and stealing part of the land where the gate was going to go into. So that whole thing exploded, meaning the owner threatened us. He threatened to block us from our land and all these other things. He threatened us if we ever step one foot on his property, it was take us to court. So, it was somewhat intimidating. And there was a whole bunch of additional threats, also physical threats. And this is where I went, truth be told, just onto Google. I just Googled around, right? And then you guys popped up. I watched the videos about the lawyers, right? And there was just something really just nice about these lawyers. Something very human, I would say, right? And I don't know, to me, just that appealed to me. And I just decided, I immediately realized my mistake, that I had gone with a smaller company, and it would have been better to go with somebody bigger who just has maybe more experience in this field. And then, I reached out, I called, and everything just flowed. There was none of this aggressiveness in terms of hey, we want to get you as a client. It was really done very kind, very just in a really polite, non-pushy way, right? This is what we can offer you, Dean, and then we'll decide, right? Both you and me will decide, right? And that's just a nice way to sort of, I think, engage new clients. So if somebody came to me and asked me whether they should use Robinson Henry, I would say just go and trust them, and they will not lead you astray.